Welcome into the podcast. I was not intending on recording now. It's like nighttime. I'm like winding down from the day, but I was really like I was taking an Epsom salt bath because I threw out my back. And so many things that have come up from just this one little like muscle pull that I think is not that I say that a lot, but I know I'm redirecting my words or my phrases to try to anchor into my knowing. I know that it is very important for us to really tune into this. And if you see some smoke coming across my screen, if you're watching on YouTube, this is my incense. So again, this was like not planned. Like my hair is still kind of wet. Like it's just nighttime vibes. It's like 9 p.m. But here we are. It's a different vibe. It's a different frequency. But I think it's just the messages are really strong for me to talk about. A few lessons have come through in the last like 2 days very strongly. And I came back from a trip from New Mexico and my body was tired. And like many, many years, I have ignored my body and pushed forward for what my mind thinks is right for us to do. And so this happened, the second day after I came back from the trip, and I was like, I want to go to the gym. Like I want to get stronger and strengthen. And I missed all of these gym days when I was away. So I should just really go to the gym. Even when my body was just like, we just want to chill. And I was like, no, we're going to just, I think it's a fine line between pushing yourself within discipline and setting boundaries and goals for yourself versus listening and surrendering and honoring the body. I think it's a very delicate balance that sometimes we go way too one way and way too the other way. So this was definitely a night that I needed to like listen more to the body. So anyways, I'm at the gym, I'm doing my workout. I'm feeling tired on the stair stepper, but I'm just like continuing to like, let's push through. And I start to do some it's leg day, so I'm doing some squats and such. And then midway through the workout, I'm like, that feels not right. And so I went to kind of stretch, finished out some very simple things. And then by the time I woke up the next morning, it was like my lower left back, like zinging up my back, not really radiating down, but like going up. So it felt like more like a lower to mid left back. I'll give you a visual. So I iced and rested. So it's kind of ironic that I was like, in my mind, I was like, great, I'll have after work, and I'll have this whole week to go to the gym and be in routine. And I like was just really my like mind of just being like, this is what we're going to do. And my body decided to speak and choose for me to be like, no, we're not. Like, I'm literally making you rest. Like, there is no option for you to go gym right now. Like, you can barely walk. So it's kind of funny how, like, I decided not to rest that one day, and then now I'm forced to rest multiple days. Isn't that interesting how the universe decides to deliver us a very intense lesson when we could have just really listened at the get-go? Well, that's a human thing, I think. Anyways, so I rested my body, and it was really like every single step hurt. Like I literally felt every so like, how you hurt something and you don't really know it's really there, or like say right now as you're listening to this, like you're not really aware of like where your feet are and like the pressure underneath your feet. But as soon as you bring attention to it, now you can't not think about your feet. That's kind of how it is when we have pain. It's like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot that this was like a total huge area of my body. And then now that I have pain there, it's like all I can think about. And so now fast forward, another day, it's still really sore. I go into work and you can't hide very much when everybody's job is literally to like assess other people. So I'm like trying to walk normal, but obviously not walking normal. And like every single person, I don't care if they were occupational therapy, physical therapy, my fellow nurses, like my secretary, everybody knew something was wrong. And I was like, well, I either really can't hide it or I'm really in that bad shape. So anyways, that was happening today. And so, okay, I iced, did hot packs, ice packs, hot packs, alternating, taking turmeric, doing all the holistic things, and also like rest and, muscle stuff and things like that. So when I got home from work, I was like, I'm going to take a bath. Like I really wanted to ground, but I was like, I don't want to walk to the park. So I took an Epsom salt bath to kind of help those sore muscles too. And I'm there sitting in the bath thinking, like, shit, I have never been so aware of how grateful I am to be able to be safe and walk and physically be mobile and in my body and have like freedom within my body. And then I was having this moment of so much around in our lives are like we have that like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have taken that for granted and really enjoyed that when I had it. And now that I don't have it, I realize how valuable that was. And so I'm having this like kind of realization. I'm putting the things together and I'm getting all these like, spiritual lessons within this one thing, because this is how we tune into our overall lessons and really listening to our oversoul, our spirit, the universe. We're in this relationship dynamic, and it's almost a point where it's like, how can you not look at all the signs and things that happen around you and be like, okay, what am I missing? What am I getting? What am I altering? What am I shifting? What am I clearing? And so it's just this layered experience that we get to be dynamic with. And we can choose to ignore it and just be like, yeah, fuck that back. Like, push it hard again or whatever. I don't know. I don't know who would say that, but anyways, so I'm like thinking of like how grateful I am for being able to walk, grateful for my back, grateful for my breath, grateful for being able to cough without my back hurting. And that was like something that was happening today. I was like, oh wow, all these things that I became like unbelievably grateful for. And then I was thinking how it bleeds into like people and relationships and places that we live, or people that we talk to, anything. It could be anything that we take for granted. And it's like that gratitude list, right? That like, so many gurus like tell us to like journal and make a gratitude list and you'll be happier. And it just feels like super lame. I'm not even going to be honest. And, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, so it just feels like, yeah, okay, I'll just be more grateful for what I have, sure. But it's like also, yeah, be more grateful for what you have. And then just honor that. And you can be grateful in the now of what you have and what is happening in your current reality, with lessons and people and the mirrors that you're seeing, the frustrations, the triggers, the glimmers, all of it. And we could be grateful for it all. And so I just had that like kind of perspective where I was like kind of sitting back and being like, wow, this is a moment where I feel like really grateful for a lot of things in my life. And I think when we have those moments, I think it's really like would be really powerful to like share that with somebody. Obviously I'm sharing it right now with you who listen to the show. But also like if you're reaching out and you're thinking of someone and you're like, man, I'm just like really grateful for the way this person showed up or this conversation, or I'm really grateful for this opportunity or whatever. And when we have those moments, we forget to like how powerful it is to like share with others. So if you've had that moment, or when you do have that happen again, like give that person or that group or whatever a shout out, even if it's someone online that inspired you, like, and you're not a person that likes to comment, like maybe every once in a while you can be like, hey dude, yeah, I really resonate with this message, like thank you. Because it takes a lot to put your opinions and your work or whatnot out into the world. So there was that part. And then the other part that I can't not look at is back, mid lower back. If you look at our chakra system and our energy body, that is root and sacral. So when something's out of whack in any parts of our body, it's related to an energetic piece. And so when I think about like, okay, pain, is that connected to emotion? What am I not allowing myself to feel? And the day before this, I did, or during that day or the day before, I was like feeling a lot, releasing a lot. So that I'm thinking about, okay, what am I feeling in my body? What am I not allowing myself to feel? So then my body's trying to make me feel it. And I've gotten quite more interested in like the somatic aspect. I can't really speak about it much because I'm just really at the beginning of that journey to kind of dive into that, to really hear the messages of our body that is trying to speak to us, because it's also a language. It can't talk to us like a fellow friend. It's speaking to us in aches and pains and tightness and soreness and being tired or being grouchy or those kinds of things. That's the body's communication, and we are in relationship with the body. So anyways, I'm thinking, okay, so sacral, root, I just made the decision to take a break, end my assignment in May, and I will be taking like a month off, and then I go travel to Peru, and I don't know what's going to happen next. So I can see in myself of like, okay, maybe we're feeling like our root, our safety, our security, our fear of the unknown of like, will I have somewhere to live? Will I feel financially secure? Will I feel emotionally secure? How am I going to feel in a different environment? I've been used to this environment. So your root chakra can be, easily triggered in that sense of safety and security if you don't have a great foundation. And, it's always a work in progress of like building these foundations. So I'm thinking about that. I can give space for that. And then I can also think, okay, what are things that would make me feel more grounded and more rooted, and really give myself space to feel those things and be like, it's okay that you feel a little ungrounded right now. And that's all right. We're going to feel into that. We're going to rest. We're going to, touch the earth. We're going to, do as much things in our body of like how giving that safety and security of regulating. And then also, okay, sacral could be emotions, could be creativity, could be, all of our, that's coming up for me too. So, and that has been a priority for me of working through the Artist's Way book. I'm not as consistent with it as I'd like to because like life and other things. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to give more space for my artist to be creative and really get into some art, like some art time, and not do it in a way that I've been used to doing it, but maybe it needs to be more playful. Maybe it needs to be heard in a different way, expressed. Maybe I need to feel or let out, whatever emotions that are being trapped there in the sacral. Maybe sacral has to do with sexual energy. It could be, definitely think that there is ancestral work in all of our chakras that are being healed right now, especially through like this huge portal between like the eclipse and the splitting of the situation of like the worlds. And there's a lot that's happening energetically where like things are coming apart, and things are getting like weirder and messier. And I think it's only going to get more of that. And the more that we ground into like, I'm here to dismantle all of this stuff that within myself and maybe the outside world of like, yes, all this has happened previously. All this has been in my past history. All this is the way that I've experienced things or handled things in the past. Like, does not mean that projects into the future or it's not even like, it doesn't have to be that. Like, the past doesn't have to be the future. Like, it's all changing. And so we feel this energetically, and it can feel very uneasy. You can feel this like restless unrest of like, okay, well, weather's happening over here and war might be happening over here and election is this. And you can feel like, and that in itself is like perpetuating fear and uneasiness and scarcity and ungrounded. And it is our duty within our own vessel and our own body and our own thoughts and our own creation to really anchor in, to be like, okay, yes, and all of this I know that this is safe, this is secure, this is what I can do. I can choose my thoughts, I can choose how I feel, I can choose to heal, I can choose to look at things with love, and really anchor into that new earth that we love to talk about. But it's like actually that kind of doing that helps us continue to shift our frequency and our vibration into that. And there was another piece about, this is another piece that I was like, I didn't want to lose this point, but you know how my brain just like boop, boop, boop everywhere. Another piece that when things like this happen to us in our life, like body acts up or, something happens in our life, like it can show us our more aggressively, like what our intuition was already trying to tell us. And for weeks, like it might be even longer than that. I'm so embarrassed to say, like I have had this urge and like need and want to like get into mobility and stretch. And there's a few people that I follow that do like somatic practices, somatic stretch, body work, like a nervous system regulation that are like physical things to do. And then also like, like body work. I mean, these are very three different things, but they're things that, the mobility piece, like, okay, you have strength and you're lifting weights and stuff, but like, are we mobile? And are we limber? Are we tight? Are we holding things in? And so those three things predominantly have just like over and over shifted in and out, and mostly the mobility and the stretch piece. Like I keep on being like, well, maybe I'll get a mobility coach, or maybe I'll get mobility and strength coach, or maybe I'll find like an online thing. And I haven't done it. I have not done it. I haven't even done a yoga class. I haven't even stretched in my apartment. I barely stretch before and after the gym, like a tiny bit, but I feel like that doesn't even count. So I feel like it was like another way that my body was like, all right, you're going to keep doing this, and we're going to keep showing you how tight we are, and we're going to slow you down so you actually stretch us. So I feel like that's a huge piece of them that I like walked away from this little blip in my body of like, okay, I will give space and time for what my intuition was already telling me and guiding me towards. Sometimes we just don't listen, and sometimes the universe gets louder and louder and louder for us to actually, hopefully at some point, fucking listen. So that's really that's my nighttime podcast here. And I don't know if you're having a physical symptom right now, or if something happened in your life and you're just like, what the fuck? Or, you're having an experience with somebody else or whatever. Hopefully one of these things will kind of resonate. Something, maybe it's something within your chakras. Maybe it's specifically the sacral and the root for you. I think it's a huge piece to really focus in on our lower chakras right now. Yeah, let me know if this resonates. Would love to hear from you. Give me a comment, a like, a follow, all the things if you're watching on YouTube, or if you are listening on Spotify or Apple. If you're like, whoa, she's on all those platforms, you can come check me out on all of those places. All that really helps. Any of the 5-star rating reviews or follows really help the podcast grow, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next episode. Remember to stay alien and be weird out there.